This video is brought to you by Easy Roller Dice. They have a new Kickstarter for their metal dice of ancient dragons. Click the link in the description to check it out. Hello everybody, Jordan here, the PH is silent. Today we're discussing Sembia, which lies to the right of Cormyr. Sembia reminds me a bit of in that money is important and merchants hold quite a bit of power. They are not at the same economic level as but their priorities align perfectly. Sembia has changed since 3rd edition, being taken over by the Netherese during 4th edition and returning to an independent nation by 5th edition. Sembia is a young country. Settlers from Chondath arrived in the Sembia region and gained independence when the Chondathans were unable to hold on to the colony because of Cormanther elves during the Battle of Singing Arrows in 884 DR. Sembians gathered together and formed a merchant council that elected an overmaster to rule in 7-year terms. By 913 DR, the country of Sembia was official, with rulers and their armies in place. One of the overmasters, named Kendrick, had a son named Miklos that spent most of his life as an adventurer in the Sea of Fallen Stars, the Moon Sea, and the Underdark. Calling himself the Silver Raven, Miklos made the merchants' rulers nervous with his negotiation skills, ability to wield a sword, and powerful magic. Miklos, once returning to Sembia, formed a personal army of 200 loyal Sembians to improve the overall image of Sembia abroad, to gather information, retrieve magical treasures, and accomplish missions. They are known as the Silver Ravens. Miklos sees his army as a reaction or counter to the Harpers that are not well liked within Sembia. Miklos prefers his Silver Ravens to be like him, true neutral with loyalty to Sembia. Sembia is very lawful, which is unlike the pirates of the nearby Moonsea and other lawless thugs in the area. They observe and adhere to contracts and laws, often finding loopholes to exploit while still being within the rules. The government is a plutocracy, which in this case means a merchant's council with an elected overmaster, like I mentioned earlier. They are a land of wealth with the grasping drive to earn more. Despite its lawful citizens, Sembia is home to secret cabals, cults, and other dangers. Everyone is looking for an edge in this cutthroat market. The Sembians, also called Semites, that live in the larger cities look down on the country folk and the folk of other cities. Consorting with pirates isn't permitted, although it might be a lucrative corner if you could somehow redefine your pirate friend as a noble business partner. The countryside of Sembia is rich farmland. Orchards and vineyards cover the area to the south, and livestock take over the northern farmland. Normally within the realms, farmers are taken advantage of by other merchants, but Semite farmers have strong business skills and often get fair or better prices for their exports. The capital of Sembia is Ordolan, where politics is nearly as important as economics. It's a relatively new city, as it should be because Sembia is a relatively new kingdom. The city is laid out like a great sunburst, with a central core consisting of 3 great buildings and roads radiating out from it. The center of the city is the Great Hall of the Council of Sembia. Here the nation's rulers live, who are the great and powerful merchants within Sembian society. Sembia would rather make a deal than go to war. Despite this, they did have conflicts with the Daelands and the elves of Cormanthor. Then there was a civil war in the mid-1370s that tore Sembia apart. It was during this time that the Netherese reappeared on Faerun and took advantage of the political climate within Sembia. By 1380, Sembia was under the thumb of the 12 princes, also known as the Princes of Shade. By 1400 DR, Sembia was fully absorbed into the Netheril. The Netheril, who were gone from Toril for centuries, used Sembia to remake its economy, utilizing their seaports for trade as well as their soldiers to protect and workers to build Netheril up. Many of the Sembian merchants welcomed the Netheril because it filled their pockets with large amounts of coin. Also, the Shadowvar, i.e. the Netherese, were able to help Sembia with long-distance trade by navigating through the Shadowfell to far reaches of Toril. Literally trading everywhere and sometimes secretly with other realms where trading with Sembia was outlawed, such as Cormyr. Early on, there was a resistance to Netheril rule, but that existed only for the first decade or so. Through money, assassination, and magic, the Shadowvar, the Netherese, took control of the Sembian subjects. They didn't wipe out the resistance, but soon it was only capable of petty acts of terrorism within the city. Using Sembia, the Shadow Empire of the Netheril strengthened their hold on parts of Faerun. Sembia outright invaded the Daelands. The nation of Cormyr aided the Daelands, but Netheril brought their forces to Cormyr, forcing the kingdom to fight on 2 fronts. But Sembia was pushed back thanks to the elves of Mithranor that came and fought back against the Netherese. The returned Netherese fell around 1484 DR during a conflict with Mithranor. Without Shadow Empire control, Sembia returned to being an independent economic power within Faerun. Trade with warring neighbors was restored thanks to Sembia distancing themselves from the Netherese way of life, reminding trade partners of the long and mutually profitable relationships they previously enjoyed. You can find more about the fall of the Netherese in the Sundering series of novels published by Wizards of the Coast. The Netherese Empire rolled a natural 1 on their attack against Mythdraenor, but that won't happen to you with your new set of metal dice of Ancient Dragons from Easy Roller Dice. They've got a new Kickstarter featuring their metal dice in silver, gold, bronze, and copper. Each die has unique dragon-esque numbers, and Easy Roller Dice even sent me a few prototypes, and they look fantastic. The Kickstarter is already funded, so you are guaranteed a set of dice if you pledge, but they do have lots of great stretch goals to unlock, such as dice cases and new designs. Check out Easy Roller Dice's Kickstarter Metal Dice of Ancient Dragons today. Link in the doobly-doo. Sembia is a great place for some political or economic-focused campaigns. Have your PCs arrive by ship using their newfound wealth from adventuring to purchase goods for trade within Sembia. Perhaps they will have to deal with an assassination attempt for encroaching on another's economic territory. They could weed out all the lawless rebels and become a true merchant king of Sembia. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks to my patrons on Patreon that keep these videos going. I really value and love your support. Please give this video a thumbs up if you feel so inclined, and I'll see you all next week with another video.